I think it's time that we start the conversation and silence the shame.
Silence the shame.
Silence the shame. Silence is the difference between treatment or pain, life or death.
Silence the shame.
Speak up now and silence the shame.
Yo, it's your girl L.ife. Super excited to be back on the Silence the Shame podcast. Hey, I got a special treat for y'all today. I got brothers in the building talking about self-love for the Black man, mental health, all things dealing with men and how to take care of yourself. I'm super excited to have them here, super excited to be back. First, let me thank all of our sponsors, all of our people for continuously supporting this podcast and joining us to hear very, very, very candid conversations about how we take care of our mental health and how you can utilize those skills to take care of your mental health. In the building, we have today Mr. Marquis from Love Yaself and Mr. Kristofer, Dopamine Dreamz in the building. Guys, how are y'all doing today?
Great.
Awesome.
Excited to be here.
Really, really nice to have you. I want to give you time to introduce yourself so that people know who you are, and then we'll get into our conversation. Marquis?
Good. My name is Marquis Hill, better known as Real MJ Hill on all social medias. I'm 18 years old, and I'm a motivational speaker and author as well, and the owner of my clothing brand, Love Yaself. So that's just a little bit about who I am.
Just at 18?
Just 18.
Okay,
yes,
all
ma'am.
right. Yeah, Kristofer, he's showing us. Come on, Chris.
My name is Kristofer Dopamine Dreamz Murray, two-time Grammy-nominated songwriter and vocal producer, signed with Cobalt. And mental health advocate.
Okay.
Follow me on Instagram, Dopamine Dreamz with a Z.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. So I'm super excited to have y'all in. You guys are sort of like the picture of what many young men aspire to be. At 18, you're a motivational speaker. You're a business owner. You're an entrepreneur. You are giving kids your age the gems you need right now, currently.
Right.
Chris, Grammy nominated? Come on, man. People trying to get to your status. But in that Grammy nomination, you're still a man, you're still a brother, you're still a son. You still go through regular life, right? We have a seasoned brother here, and we have a young brother who's being seasoned that I'm super excited to have this conversation with you all about. Both of you, entrepreneurs. Did you dream to be an entrepreneur? Did it fall in your lap to be an entrepreneur? How did you get to this platform of being an entrepreneur?
Mr. Moore, you want to go first?
Sure. You know that question they ask all kids, what do you want to be when you grow up?
Oh, yeah.
Well, I always wanted to be in music.
Okay.
Started as a rapper. By 19, was a songwriter.
Y'all busting the seams down at 18 and 19. Like, I'm about to call my kids like, y'all a little behind. No.
And just from there, networked and worked very, very hard.
Okay.
And got to where I am now. But I just always saw myself charting my own path in
Got
life.
it.
Mm-hmm. I never really subscribed to the traditional, get out, go to school, get a career.
What they say is the
always,
American dream. Right.
It was always for me, it was music. It's in my blood. My family is in music, so there was really no other
path for you.
Path for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah, I would say like for me, it definitely found me. Like I think it definitely started in 8th grade. Like my biggest passion, my biggest dream, what I gave my all to every single day was basketball. And like ever since, like growing up in Illinois, moving to Georgia, that's what I did, every single day.
That's what you knew.
That's what I knew was playing ball. And I remember it was in like the summer of my 8th grade year. I was just outside playing basketball, ended up feeling like a very sharp pain in my chest. And like to keep a long story short, I ended up going to a doctor, a cardiologist.
Okay.
And he basically told me I had some holes in my heart that was like allowing blood to go to places it didn't need to go. And like basically, he told me I had to take 8 weeks off from playing ball. And if the healing process didn't go as planned, like I could never play basketball, at the level I want to.
Right.
So like for me at that age, it really felt like my dream was being snatched away from me.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like it was in that pain and in that transition where I really found like my voice.
Okay.
Like, I got on social media, started, making these daily positive videos, didn't really know what I was doing at the time. I just knew I was going through a hard time in my life and I wanted to be a light in somebody else's life.
That's awesome.
And I remember like what it felt like, being an athlete before my games, watching, great speakers like Eric Thomas, Trent Shelton, like these people that would encourage me and uplift me.
Right.
And I was like, I want to do that for somebody else. So like that's where it started, just me on social media and staying consistent with it every single day. And now I'm blessed to, not be able to do it just on social media, but, around the world.
Mm-hmm.
And I know like for me, it just it really like, found me. I give all thanks to God, just for, placing that gift on me. And from there, transition from speaking to my clothing brand, to my books. And I'm just continuously spreading that message of self-love.
I love that, Marquis. I hear two different paths, right?
Mm-hmm.
I hear this is all I knew. My family knew.
Right.
My dream got shot down.
Right.
But both of those paths led you to your purpose in life, right? Tell me how you recognize the need to stay the course.
I'm not even gonna lie, it hasn't been easy.
It hasn't.
At the beginning of my music career, when it was just starting to, I was seeing the glimmers of things taking off, being around, just major people at the time, what I'm saying? And I got sick mentally at age 21 on Christmas Eve.
Wow.
Of all days. So, even though I stayed the course, there were many times there were detours.
Right.
After I got sick, people glaze over it, especially in entertainment. A lot of times you hear these people, they had a nervous breakdown or whatever. But, that term is like, it's a real thing. Like,
right.
When your nerves are shot like that, you literally have to like start over, like
relearning yourself.
Right.
Right.
So when I first got sick, for like 2 years, I could not like mentally tap into my creativity like I was so used to before. So dealing with that, dealing with the difficulty of me feeling like I was a shell of who I was, because I was so ambitious, so young, so much at such a young age. And then now it's like God just sat me down and it's like, dang, like what
happened to all of that momentum? Right.
And I'm on medicine. I'm gaining all this weight now. I was a skinny guy. Now I'm a chubby guy.
I love the chubby
guy. Right. So I'm like, that's a lot to deal with in a short
It is. That's the whole change, right?
But the I don't know what kept me going, to be honest. I just really believed that it was possible for some reason.
Okay.
The Bible says that every man is given a certain measure of faith. And it took me a while to learn that, your level of faith might not be like everybody else's. Not saying you're better or anything like that.
But you're able to withstand a little more.
Yeah. Like I would try to push my cousins and
yeah.
They're like, yo, man. Like,
you good. You got superpowers, right?
So it was just that, my belief in God and my belief that it could happen for me one day.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that's really powerful. Like it definitely just, inspired me. And I know for like myself, I would just say early, it was that battle with like having this new passion and this new dream and understanding that everybody won't see your vision. Like for me, I remember when I first started making those motivational videos, like after posting my first couple of them, I'm like, yeah, this is what I do now. Like I speak, I invite, right.
At 17.
Look, I was in 8th grade with the answers
you were
to life.
In 8th grade, right.
Wow.
Middle school when most of us are like dying, right.
And I remember, going back to school and like kids laughing at my videos. Like when I say kids, I'm not just talking about anybody. I'm talking about like these was people I call my close friends. Right? Like,
they couldn't see it.
They couldn't see it at the time. And for a second, it did deter, like it detoured me away from, like what I thought was this new passion I was for speaking. It discouraged me for a second because I'm like, I didn't get into speaking to be laughed at, to get ridiculed, to get clowned when I come.
Right. I just came off the court being shined.
That's all.
You were being appreciated and applauded on the court.
That's what it was. And I would say everybody applauded me as a basketball player, as an athlete.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like, you know, that's one of my most important messages I always try to push is like, don't let anybody put you in a box. Don't let anybody tell you this is all you can do. This is what you were born to do. If you have a transition, if you want to pivot and do something else, if you got another dream or passion, chase that and believe in that and understand, even though they don't see the vision at first, eventually they go fall in line. Like
They don't have to.
They gonna have to
They gonna
fall
have
in
to.
line.
They gonna have to.
That's it. Because
Yeah.
it's like when you believe in yourself, nobody can stop you. I
That's
stay
it.
consistent
I hear
with
it in
speaking
you.
so
I
long.
hear it, yes.
I'm talking years. Every morning, waking up 5 a.m., 6 a.m., dropping these motivational videos in the morning.
Guess
They
where you
couldn't
learned
deny
that?
it.
Guess where you learned that?
Mhm.
In your discipline in playing ball.
Right.
So you got up every morning. You probably slept with a basketball. As a
What?
kid, I know you did. I know you did.
I went to prom.
My
with
brother
basketball.
did. My brother had basketballs all around. Like I
Yup.
was a goal. My head was a basketball. Like
Yup.
he utilized all of us to play basketball, right? But that skill and that discipline you learn in training for basketball
Mhm.
taught you a skill and discipline for life. Because you don't have to play ball to be in basketball. You know what I mean?
Right.
And my son is in that realm right now. He's in school in Florida,
Mhm.
totally doing something, automotive mechanic school.
Right.
Who knew, right?
Mhm.
Who knew you would be a public speaker? Who knew you was going to be Grammy nominated? But at some point in your life fell to that bottom and you had to recognize self, right? You had to realize I am more than this title that I am. I'm more than this basketball player. I can no longer play basketball. So
Right.
how do I want them to see me moving forward? Tell our viewers how you still have to have motion within those sunken moments,
Right.
or that sunken moment will take over. Tell me what your emotions are. How do you utilize those emotions? Or when did you recognize you still needed to move so that you wouldn't become sunken in that moment?
100%.
Well, for me, God always had his hand on me.
Come on.
You know, through all those years, I battled with mental illness, in and out of hospitals. Just, I could literally have a movie about my life.
At what age?
21 to 33.
So that's what we call first episode psychosis.
Mm.
And that's usually the onset of individuals who finally realize that they're having mental health challenges. You probably had mental health challenges throughout life.
And I look
nobody
back,
could pinpoint them. Your mom said, "Hey, you healthy, you look good." The doctor said, "Your heart all right, your eyes check in." You know, we go for those regular check-ins. Nobody checks our brain.
Right.
Now they have a questionnaire out.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That they start asking, and even if your child tells the truth on that, right?
Right.
But for you, you had no idea of what was
I was
happening.
definitely depressed looking back as a teenager. But even during those years, right,
Mm-hmm.
my output was crazy. Like my work ethic was crazy. We would write sometimes 200 to 300 songs a year.
Wow.
You know,
Wow.
just every day.
People don't realize how much
how much
time.
output you
Right. Yeah.
You know, these songs that you see that are out, like these people are putting up shots every single day
200 shots to make one.
to make one.
And how much trauma do you have to go through with that writing? Because you're writing these songs, right? So
Oh,
it takes
yes.
you through this roller
It
coaster
takes
of
you through
emotions.
a roller coaster of emotions. I had plenty. So I really started like traveling and stuff probably around like 06, right?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't sign my deal with Cobalt until 2014.
Mm.
So there were 7 years where it was a situation where I almost had a placement with Rodney Jerkins early on. I thought that was going to go. Then there was a situation I was supposed to have a placement with Trey Songz. I thought that was going to go.
And it was all the way to the verge, and then it dropped, right?
Yes.
So these roller coasters of
Out of that.
emotions that you're going through.
Out of that.
Wow.
And so, I just had to keep pressing through. And for me, what like solidified it all making sense, I remember right before I signed my deal, they were shopping me around for a deal.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm writing these songs, submitting to different people, and I get sick. So I'm in the hospital. But right before the hospital, I had chosen that I was going to go with Cobalt. I literally signed my contract in a hospital.
In the hospital.
In the hospital.
At your lowest moment.
At my lowest moment.
You saw your future.
I saw my future. It was like, God was like, yeah, this is happening, but
Look where I'm gonna take you.
look where I'm gonna take you.
Yeah.
You know
Just
what
be
I'm saying?
obedient.
Right.
Have
So-
discipline and be obedient. Just sit here for this one. I need you to sit
I need you
still
to sit down. I'm trying to get something through you, to you.
Yeah.
to get to
Yeah.
the world.
Yeah.
Marquise?
No, it's really powerful. And I think like one thing that you said, it was like one thing you mentioned was you have to keep shooting
Mhm.
those shots. Like it's really about taking one step forward
Yeah.
every day. And I know for me, like that's one thing that I try my best to prioritize because I was a person, I used to overwork myself a lot. Like when you are a visionary and you have these, dreams and aspirations and you want to make them happen,
Right.
it can be a lot of pressure at times because sometimes you feel like you're not doing enough.
To make it happen.
Sometimes you feel like you're not putting in enough work. And then one thing I struggled with early was comparison. Like continuously, like definitely me being on social media.
Right.
It was like I was comparing my journey to other people's journey, comparing my success to other people's success. And also it was when things did blow up on social media, I started to validate myself through
that.
those views,
Yeah.
through those likes,
Yeah.
through these comments. And I lost myself in that. Like I had a video do 1 million views, then the next video I posted does 500.
Right.
It's messing with my mental.
Right.
It was.
And what made that one go to a million? So now you're looking at that one and say, what did I do in
What
that?
did I do? And it's like now I'm trying to be perfect. Now I feel like I'm not enough because this video only did 500. But and it's just like taking one step forward every single day, understanding that it's progress over perfection 100% of the time. And I know for me, one thing that kept me going was my community, like my circle. Like having my pops that tell me like, Marquise, be you, right?
That's it.
Follow your path, follow your journey,
Mhm.
right? Regardless of what other people may say, regardless of how many people support you, whatever it is that you got in your heart, whatever it is that God calling you to do, you got to pursue that.
That's it.
And understanding that, I got my little brother looking up to me, right? My baby sis now, newborn.
Aw.
It's like when you have these young souls looking up to you, it gives you a different
Pressure.
type of drive.
It gives you a different type of drive and it gives you a different type of pressure.
Exactly.
And how to handle that pressure in that drive. How do you balance that?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You're looking at that million, that one TikTok or one video that
Yeah.
went to 1 million views. Now that's your new high.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's like a drug addict getting their first hit and they're trying to reach that high, right?
Exactly.
How did you lose yourself trying to reach that high?
Mhm.
Kristofer, how did you lose yourself when knowing where your feet were in that hospital, but God giving you a contract? You're like,
Yeah.
how do I get from here to
I
here?
forgot to mention too, the thing that got me that contract was from 2006, 2007 to 2013. I'm writing. Nothing seemed to land. And my first 2 major placements were on Grammy nominated albums. Those were my nominations. So that was another thing, like to speak to what he was speaking to, right? I told you I used to write hundreds of songs a year.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, we talk about the motivational speakers and all these great people we see, and that's what they say. Hard work leads to success, preparation meets opportunity, all those things. But I came to a revelation later on in life that yes, that all does matter. But without God, nothing is possible, because every single placement, every single opportunity I got was not because of something I did. And I think it was like that on purpose. I always had to split the pie with somebody. I always had to see it on the way back end. Songs I wrote years ahead of time, so.
And nobody knows you. Nobody know I wrote that song. Nobody knows who Kristofer is, but they jamming my
And it's
lyrics
like-
every day, right?
Yeah.
Nobody knows who Love Yourself is, but they rocking your shirts.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, we got to understand that. And you speak of, we have a supreme being. Mine is God, yours is God. I'm not sure who serves who, but we all have this supreme being that we look for guidance, right? How do you break the judgment and stigma around mental health, just like we would around speaking of our religion, right? How do we break that stigma and judgment around, I went and seek help? Because I hear that you were in a hospital, so that means you had to go get help because it got to that point, right? You have been there where they have ridiculed you, but you still are, God still kept going.
Right.
Those individual people, Martin Luther King kept going until they took, these people kept going, even though it was heavily stigmatized, heavily judged. How do you stay true to you and your purpose with being ridiculed probably by your closest friends, your family members? Like, how do we unstigmatize talking and normalize talking about our mental health? I am not okay. Hey, I am burnt out. Hey, it ain't gonna be overnight success.
Right,
so I got to figure out how to hold myself through this journey, right?
Right.
How do you end that judgment or stigma with your friends, family, people?
This,
Yeah.
social media, talking about it. I had a black nurse, black male nurse in one of them hospitals. And he said to me, he said, if you had a broken foot, you would go to the doctor to get it fixed, right?
Come on.
You had a heart problem and the doctor said, yo, I'm going to give you this pill or whatever. I'm going to put you on this diet, whatever.
You're going to do it.
You're going to do it.
With no questions. You're not going to question him?
Your brain is a part of your body.
That feeds everything to your body.
And it's very complex. But your mind is in your brain. It's a part of your body. Just like you need to take care of any other part of your body, you need to take care of your brain and your mental health.
Yeah.
And sometimes, especially as black men and black people, we've been taught so long to just take it and tough it out and man up and all these different things. But trauma does affect you.
It reorganizes your brain.
There's studies.
That's what I'm saying.
Pictures. Your brain looks different when you experience trauma.
That's it.
And black people have experienced it more than anybody else.
And still.
So, yes, I thought starting out music was my purpose.
Come on, God, speak through him.
But now I realize it's bigger than that. I changed my social media name to Dopamine Dreamz 10 or 11 years ago. And I don't know where it exactly came from.
You was getting high off your drink.
But it makes like so much sense, like dopamine. And
chemicals that are released are dopamine. So don't get me wrong when I say getting high off your dreams.
No.
Those of us who are in the medical world know that dopamine is a chemical that is released. It's the feel-good chemical that's released. So he wants a feel-good dream, and that's how his name. So all right, Roman.
Yeah, so it was like I just started way back when, like him.
God put it in you way back then.
Way back then. Posting positive motivational posts.
Right.
And now, this many years later, I have the opportunity to speak on my experiences and my story. And it's that much impactful because now I do have the Grammy nomination. I've done certain things. And I have
work with certain people. Right.
People. And now I'm having the opportunity outside of this and things like this to speak at different schools. I'm supposed to be speaking at Georgia State and Clark and Spelman.
That's awesome.
About the music.
You didn't see that in your vision.
I didn't see that.
I wasn't a motivation. I want to write music. I'm doing music. This is and how did I get to moving the people, Lord? Music moves people.
Yes.
Yours. Any thoughts on how to end that stigma or how to erase that judgment out of people's minds about positivity? I just don't know why it's there, but you know what I mean.
I think it's definitely a process. And I know for me, like Mr. Murray was just saying, just more conversations need to be had. I feel like we're getting there. I feel like it may not be.
It's now the new buzzword.
Right. It may not be perfect right now, but we breaking through. Like it's starting to get to the point where, more youth are being open about, certain things that they're dealing with, certain things that's going on mentally. Like definitely people that have came before me, like starting to speak on what they went through a lot more. And I just think it's just so important for us to continue creating, spaces, right? Like this, like Silence of Shame, right? Silence of Shame for teens. Creating these spaces where people can come and just express what they feeling, what they going through, what they've been through. And I know for me, like another thing that I think is just so important, and this one thing I talk to my dad with a lot, is just having a space where the people that's came before me, right? And the kids coming under me, kids like my age, where we can both pour into each other.
That's it.
Like, I feel like that's it. Because it's like, Mr. Murray been through life, right? Like, I've been here for 18 years. Mr. Murray been here way longer than me.
Right.
There's so much that I can learn and gain from somebody who came before me, definitely as they're, learning to love themselves, as they learning to prioritize their own mental health. It's like, before I even go through, right, me at 21 going through the mental breakdown, Mr. Murray can give me a tool.
Right.
And I feel like that's like just one of the most important things for me is just like, creating that space for, right, the people that's came before us, the people younger, so we can all pour into each other because we need each other.
That's
like,
it.
it's vice versa.
We can't do this alone.
That's all.
Black masculinity.
Black masculinity.
Y'all supposed to be strong.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all supposed to lift the car, change the tire, take the trash out, don't cry, don't have a feeling. If your feeling is a feeling, it's to be mad and fight. This is what you were taught, right? If I cry, I'm weak. If you tell me I'm feeling, you feeling. What are you feeling other than sexual? You know what I'm saying? Feel. You know what I'm saying? You're in. What is being in your feelings as a man? Right. How do you deal with that? How do you deal with, I'm supposed to be this strong guy, but I feel like I need to cry. But I can't cry because then the world is going to see me as weak. So how do you deal with that? Clearly you show your emotions. Clearly you are very open at this moment. But I'm sure it was times in your life where you felt like I had to go behind closed doors, or even if I cried. Even behind closed doors, if I cry, right, I'm weak. I'm no longer a man. I no longer can be seen as a strong man. Right. How do you deal with black masculinity or masculinity, period?
Well, coming from Philly.
You had to be hard.
Yeah.
From the shy, you had to be hard. You know what I mean?
Coming from Philly, it's a tough town. Underdog city.
Yeah.
Blue collar city. Cold. Weather.
Right. Just cold all the way around.
Cold all the way around. We don't, they call it the city of brotherly love, but it's not given freely.
It ain't no loving on the brothers.
Put it like that.
Right.
And then, I'm not oblivious to how I look, this pigment,
right,
this hair.
Right.
I grew up on guard. Because I had to be. You know what I'm saying? But as I've gotten older, and have learned to love myself and everything about myself, I don't care what other people think. I just don't. Because everybody has their stuff.
That's it. And everybody has some stuff.
And it stinks. And we all got it.
Yeah.
Everybody's just out here masking.
And
the real strength comes in being vulnerable and being weak. Right. That takes strength. You can act like, you're this hard statue of a person. But at the end of the day, before being a black man or a black woman, you are a human being first. Right. You're
first and foremost.
First and foremost. And you have feelings, you have emotions.
You're born with this.
Yes. And women, we do have emotions.
Let us be free.
Listen, I may not cry, but
it's there.
It's there.
I get hurt. You can say things that hurt my feeling. Like, I'm still that person. I still am a human. Marquis, tell us, masculinity, right? You're this young brother coming into this in Atlanta.
100%.
You know what I mean? Like, you either going to be this way or that way, or I'm going to see you as this way or that way. How do you hold that I'm still a man, but I still can be very vulnerable, as Kristofer spoke on?
I'll speak on just like my process in terms of like dealing with my emotions. I say like I'm blessed to have, like people around me who kind of gave me that open space, right? To cry, to be open in how I was feeling, even if I wasn't at my best. Like, I know for me, like, throughout middle school, I was always a strong friend in my friend group, right? And I know people even older than me can relate to that. Like,
who took care of you?
Exactly.
Right.
And that's where I found myself a lot, continuously pouring into other people, filling everybody else's cup. And then when I needed something, I kind of kept silent because everybody comes to me with the problems. I can't look as if
I don't
right?
have it all
I
together.
don't have it all together.
Yeah.
And like you just mentioned, it's really about taking off that mask. Like I had to get comfortable in the fact that, listen, I'm not as strong as I think I am. Like there is times where I'm low. There are times where I'm down, and it's okay to cry. Like for example, when I had my heart murmur, I spent time in my room for weeks, right, crying
By yourself.
When I got into the car, first thing I did was cry. Right, my pops sitting
Because
next.
my dreams are shot.
My dream shot. Right, like I'm not in a good space in my life right now, and it's like you have to kind of give your space to release, because if you don't, it just builds up in you. It's like every single day you're trying to compress these feelings that's just longing to get out of you. And it's like you have to give yourself that space to just be open. Like that's one thing that I try my best to, even do with my friends. I remember it was one time I had one of my close friends over at my house, and me and his situation completely different.
Right.
Like he really been through some things that I can even relate to.
Right.
And just being able to like sit down, I remember we was both laying on the floor. He telling me, like what he going through at home. He telling me like the pain he feeling. And he started crying. He like, man, you trying to wipe his tears. I'm like, bro,
let it go.
Let that go.
Yeah.
And
Because the more you hold that in, the more it's going to eat yourself up.
it's going to eat you up. And that's all he needed was somebody just to
give him that space.
Somebody to just be there for him. And I know like that's one thing that now I'm prioritizing with myself and with others is just, as long as we keep, showing up for each other and, creating that space for each other to be open to cry, right? To not always be strong. I feel like we'll all grow and develop in a great way. But I know like for me, that's really what it was.
I heard so many nuggets, breaking generational cycles. We've been taught to be this. Now we have to change our mindset, right? And how hard that is to change our mindset. Those masks and not being able to be vulnerable. How many masks we have layered and layered and layered on ourselves. What's the message that we give the platforms that we are able to bless our presence with? The schools you're going to speak to, the individuals you influence, the young people that are in your household, in your family, the young singers, writers coming up in this world. What do we give them to let them know it's okay to not be okay? What strengths do you get by being vulnerable? What doors do you close by having a mask?
That's a loaded question. One of my other superpowers,
Yeah, I like it.
other than my faith, is my insightfulness. I've been told that a lot. My ability to look inward and be honest with myself.
That's
and
it,
where
first.
I'm at in the present. So I want to challenge people to be real.
Ooh.
With yourself.
Pause. Be real.
Be real.
Because many times we're going after a role model. They're playing a role. I'm looking for real models. Who's being real? Go.
Be
Sorry.
real.
Be real with yourself. That's
Be
it.
real. Tell the truth.
That's it.
Even when it comes to music, one of my things I always say is like, okay, we're talking about love, right? Well, how would I really say I love you to my black queen? Or, if we're in an argument, how would I say that? Now let's find a way to make that rhyme and have melody and all that, right?
Right.
But it's just about being real.
Yeah.
Be real with yourself, man. Be real where you're at. If you're having a bad day, like, yo, listen, I'm learning. So
Write about it.
Something after years of not being actively in therapy, I'm back in therapy now because I realized.
Cheers to you.
Yo, damn, what I thought I conquered years ago.
It's a whole,
Still wearing this ugly head. Let me do something about it instead of sweeping it under the rug and not talking about it or seeing this person and acting like everything's okay. Like, be real. We got to stop with all the
social media antics.
The social media antics, the family secrets.
Oh,
it's time to
come on.
Real. We talk about breaking
now you want some people to go talk to their grandma and granddaddy.
I'm just
saying, but it starts there.
It starts
because it trickles down to us, right? It trickles down to us, and you being able to have that moment, to be able to be honest and be real. And not fall in the I need to be or show up as. You know what I mean? Marquis.
I would say it starts with you.
Mm-hmm.
It starts with you being the example. Like, yes, it's hard, and I'm not a person to sit here and say it's easy.
Right.
Like, I understand
It's
that.
not easy.
It's levels to everything.
Exactly.
What I see is big, somebody else may see as small, and what
Correct.
somebody else may see as small may seem like the biggest problem in the world to somebody else. And it's just up to us, right, to do this inner work,
Mm-hmm.
to really dive deep into ourselves, no matter how, old we are, no matter what age we are.
Right.
It's up to us to do the work ourselves and be the example, because it's one person at a time. Like, to anybody, right, listening, to anybody watching, like, it starts with you. It starts with you being real. Like you said, it starts with you being open. It starts when the next time your friend comes to you and they do cry, not laughing
That's
at them,
it.
not judging them.
That's right.
But
Embracing.
them.
Right.
Come on.
That's it. But one person at a time, we can change things.
Yeah.
And, it's just up to us to not be afraid to go against the grain. Yes, it's different. Yes, it's not the most popular thing in the world
not the
right
norm.
now, to be open, to be vulnerable.
Mm-hmm.
Of course it's not. But one person at a time, it's going to create a trickle effect that years down the line, now we get to create a community of people, right, who are here for each other instead of going against each other, trying to tear each other down. So I would just say it starts with you.
I told y'all we had some great brothers in the building today, and they have given us so many nuggets that we can utilize and move forward. And I hope a young brother watching this episode feels a change within himself to be real, to be honest, to be vulnerable, to be himself amongst his friends who are being like the world. So last nuggets for the young brothers, even young sisters that are watching this, about how to receive a young brother, how to not dismiss a young brother, how to love on a young brother and not make him have to be this epitome or image of strong, how to allow them that vulnerable space.
Be real, lead with love. Black people, one of our superpowers is humor,
Mm-hmm.
right? But it's okay to feel how you feel.
Yeah.
We laugh at everything.
Yeah. Everything becomes a joke. That's our defense mechanism. Mm-hmm.
And that's okay to a certain point.
Right.
But, at some point you gotta dig deep.
Yeah.
Dig deep. And unpack everything. They say, I think they say our most formative years are between like when we're born and like 8 years old. So for me, a lot happened during that time.
Most impressionable time of your life. Yeah.
Yes. So, unpack those things, man. Don't be afraid to go there and do the work. And I promise you, when you come out on the other side, like, it's going to be worth it, and you will reap the benefits.
That's it.
Of doing the work. So that's what I'll say. Follow your dreams, man. Don't let nobody stop you. Nothing stop you. And just be real, man.
Yeah.
And love. And lead with love.
Thank you. Marquis.
Thank you.
That's words of wisdom.
I would say make sure that you putting yourself first.
Mm-hmm.
And keeping your cup full. And when I say that, a lot of people hear it often, right? Like on social media, it's like a new thing. Like you said, it's a buzzword. And I was talking to my pops about something yesterday.
Shout out to Pops, because you talk to him a lot. I love it.
That's my man. And I was telling him, like, I wasn't even planning on like talking about this, because it's something that's still, like I'm dealing with. But I feel like if I didn't say it, right, like I wouldn't be taking off my mask and being real. But to anybody watching this right now or listening, make sure that if you feeling something, like, you go get help. Mm-hmm. Like, make sure that when you're going through something, you don't silence it, you don't suppress it, but instead you make sure that somebody else know. Like, you find that outlet. Like, I lost my big brother, not by blood, but by connection. Mm-hmm. To suicide. My cousin. And
because they wouldn't speak it out, because they were holding it in and didn't feel safe enough to let it out, finish it.
And I remember waking up and getting the news from my pops. Like, I'm waking up, I'm gonna have a great day, and I'm going to the bathroom. He like, Keith. And he looking at me, and I could tell like something's off.
not right.
And I'm like, my pop's always straight with me. He'll tell me from the jump what's going on. So I'm like, what's going on? And he said, like Haji, he gone. And I'm like, what you mean
Like
by
he
that?
flew somewhere? Like he not gonna be at school today? Like
Exactly. I'm like, what you mean by that? And he he died. And I'm like how?
car
Right.
accident. You know, you thinking something happened.
I'm thinking
you know what I
something
mean?
happened.
Yeah.
And when my pop said it was by suicide, like I remember like just standing in that mirror, like feeling all this pain and like feeling this feeling of like, man, he looked good from the outside. Like I was just hooping with him the other day. He was just at the house. He was smiling. He was laughing.
That mask.
We were, having a good time. It looked like, he had the money. He had, he had the girls. He had everything that people
That we think
we need.
Right?
And internally, he was hurting,
Mm.
and he needed somebody to be there with him. And that's why it's just so big for me. Like, if you going through something, please say something. Please make sure that you seek help in whatever form that looks like. Like it doesn't even have to be family,
Yeah.
right? It doesn't have to be somebody close to you. You might be a random stranger, but you need somebody to talk to.
Mm-hmm.
And I would just say, like, that's the biggest thing for me. You can't pour from an empty cup, and you should never set yourself on fire to make another person feel warm.
That's it.
So show up for yourself, be there
on.
for yourself,
Come on, bro.
and make sure you go get that help. Because what happened to my big brother, I hope that I can be a light in somebody else's life, so
That's what
they
we're
don't
here
feel
for.
like they have to take that route.
If anyone watching this show is having any feelings of suicide, harming themselves or harming others, please reach out to Silence the Shame. Text us silence to 707070. Call the new mental health line 988 is the new 911 for mental health emergencies. Call, reach out, text. There's an app called Not Okay where you can download that app and you can input 5 individuals who you consider your safe people. You hit the Not Okay button and it sends a message to them letting them know to check on you. Please seek help. Y'all, I appreciate y'all today. I appreciate this conversation. I think I'm going to call my son when I get out of here and cry with him just to let him know it's okay. Let it go. Don't hold it in. It's going to do more harm in than it will out. Hurting someone's feelings by letting out your feelings, we can deal with that.
Right.
Holding your feelings in and you diminishing yourself, suppressing it inside, is going to do way more harm. All right. Tell the people how to find y'all, because I got y'all. I'm going to have y'all locked in the phone.
Yeah.
Tell the people how they can find y'all.
Yep.
Christofer?
Dopamine Dreamz on all socials. DOPAMINE DREAMZ. Yeah. Reach out, holla at me, man. I respond back.
I like it. I like it. Please put that one in there, right?
I respond
Or
back.
somebody will.
That's it.
I got a team.
Yep. Y'all can find me on all social medias at Real MJ Hill. That's REAL MJ HILL. Every social media platform. If you want to book me to speak, interview, you can definitely reach out to me on my website, www.realmjhill.com. And if you want to shop my brand, we got a lot of new pieces out. I think you go like it too.
I think you
But my website is loveyourself.shop, and that's LOVEYASELF.shop. I appreciate it.
I appreciate you. You were saying your name, and we can cut or whatever. You were saying your name, but MJ Hill, you the
Yup.
Michael Jordan of mental health. Hey,
Come on.
I stamped it. Put it here first. Love
Right.
yourself. It was me. So if you come out with a sweatshirt, I need life at the bottom of it somewhere down the
The
line.
greatest.
Yo, these brothers gave us so much self-love. I brought the brothers to you on Valentine's Day, right?
Yeah.
Love yourself, beat it out on music and get through it. Like, I'm so excited about the love that was brought here today, right? The love you guys showed yourselves, the love you guys showed me for even coming to this platform. I would like to thank our followers for continuously supporting us on this platform. I want to thank all of our sponsors and partnerships. Without you, this would not be possible. I would like to thank the OGs of this podcast, Shanti Das and Free. You guys have paved the way, and here I am walking in that path. So I truly, truly appreciate you all in giving us this platform on Silence the Shame to silence the shame around mental health. Remember to text silence to 707070 if you're ever in need of any help, so that we can continue to send resources and support your way. And remember to free your feels, take the time, save a life, and silence the shame.